Hello and welcome. My name is Thomas and today I am doing an unboxing and early review of the Razer Blackshark V2 X. So let's get nerdy. Here's the box. So we've got Razer Triforce 50mm drivers. These are actually pretty interesting. I recommend checking out a video itself on those. It's got hyper clear cardioid mic. We'll talk about that in a second as well. Advanced passive noise cancellation, lightweight design with memory foam ear cushions, 7.1 surround sound, and cross-platform capability. On the back here, it shows the headset. So it's got a plush headband padding, which I'm excited for because sometimes the top of my head hurts when I have a headset on. The Razer Triforce 50mm drivers. It says here, like having 3 drivers in one, Razer's all-new patented design allows for the individual tuning of highs, mids, and lows, which is kind of interesting how they actually did the driver design. If you're nerdy like that, something worth checking out. The leatherette memory foam ear cushions, we've all known what that is, and Razer's hyperclear cardioid mic. It is not a Discord certified mic like the G335 was, and I think we'll notice a difference when I actually do the microphone test. And then if we zoom in on that really quick, you can check out the cardioid pattern, which is pretty much an upside down heart. And what that means is the microphone is going to be facing this way, which is where it's going to allow sound. And then on the outsides, it's going to try to limit sound as much as possible. So moving on. For gamers, by gamers. You've got your actual code itself. Moving on, you've got some instruction booklet. All right, so it goes through all the instructions and stuff. Of course, Razer is trying to go green, so all of their packages are obviously all recyclable. I'm digging the unboxing so far. You've got yourself a nice kind of, I don't know, this actually feels like a very cheap carrying case, but it's a carrying case nonetheless. When you're outside and you're like in a garden, and there's stuff that you put down underneath it so weeds don't grow through it, that's what this feels like. Not bad, it's soft. More coverings, which is interesting. Haven't seen that before. You get a huge long cable. All right, so let's take a closer look at this guy real quick. Here is the left ear cup. Obviously you have a plastic design, kind of shiny material with the Razer logo that is all matte black, which looks pretty good. This is a plastic hinge as well, into a metal hinge, into some more plastic, and then into the cable. And this guy adjusts up and down on that arm. Pretty smooth. I actually kind of, a lot smoother than I was expecting that to be. It's not like perfectly smooth because as you can see, like when I'm trying to be kind of gentle, it's a little jerky, but not too bad. And then you've got your volume wheel, obviously. And this thing's kind of cool because when you go all the way down, you can feel it and it locks. And then right here in the middle, it actually locks there in the middle, so you know you're at 50%, which is something, it's a small feature that I really like. And then going all the way to the max is max volume. Then you've got your mic mute button there, goes in and then goes out, and there you go. Moving on, we've got the cable itself, which is non-removable, and then the microphone itself, which is also non-removable. So looking at that from a little bit further away, and then you've got the ear cuffs where they're leatherette on the back, and then in the middle, it's hard to see, but it's more of a cloth material. Then on the inside, it's got another more cloth material. You've got left there. Moving on to the right ear cup, there's not a whole lot of anything here other than a lot of the same that we saw before with no adjustments whatsoever. Feeling the memory foam padding. Seems pretty good. I don't know if I'd quite, I guess there's a little bit of memory foam to it. Doing the finger test, it's about 1 knuckle deep. So whatever that is worth. And then moving on to the final thing, which is going to be the cable itself. You've got your mic splitter cable / extension cable. So if you have a PC or something like that that only supports so that one of these is going to be your audio and then one of them is going to be your microphone. I might have had that backwards of the ones that I'm tapping because I don't remember the colors off the top of my head. And then that ends in a single 3.5mm female jack port. The normal headset itself has a 4-pole 90-degree pin. And then, of course, if we unravel this, what's nice is that this guy actually continues to stay on there, so you can always wrap it up if you want to. This cable is pretty stiff though. Moving on to kind of a little further apart, just to look at the headset a little bit more. On each side, on the top there, you've got your Razer branding. There's a lot more padding there than I thought, so I think I'm going to like that a lot. All right, so let's do a quick fit test real quick. I'm kind of liking that. One thing that I noticed just straight off the bat is that the side adjustments here, those move kind of automatically. So when I put it on my head, I almost have to readjust that to get it in the ideal position. Definitely feels like it's pretty comfortable due to the ear cup design and the drivers themselves kind of being closed. That gives you the passive noise isolation, which you can hear right away just with your voice not being nearly as loud as if I did that. Now my voice is about twice as loud in my head. So it's one of those that's nice to kind of isolate you while gaming. Moving on to what this actually feels like or looks like on my head. There you go. I do like that these ear cups also swivel kind of like this, because that way it actually allows you to have a lot of customizability back and forth while also having a bunch of that too, which leads to overall comfort. With this top headed band being super padded, I don't think long gaming sessions are going to be an issue. And then so far, the actual ear cuffs themselves are deep enough that I definitely don't feel my ears rubbing against the driver, which is also a good thing. The driver itself has nearly no padding, so if your ear's rubbing against that, it's going to hurt. Overall, the whole entire ear cups are pretty soft and comfortable as well. So the next part is to test the microphonics, which is when a cable rubs against your person, if it comes up in the headset, and I don't hear any of that. Let's test the actual volume. I hear a little bit of that, but it's not bad either. Let's actually plug these guys in and see what they sound like. Going to jump into some Days Gone. I needed to adjust the volume to be about 100% on the headphones and about 60% on my controller to get what I would consider to be solid volume. So the nice thing about this is sometimes the motorcycles during like audio sections are so loud that it's like annoying. With this particular headset, I can definitely, it's focusing on the voices, which is nice, but I can still also hear the motorcycles. And it's almost kind of clinical is the way that I would describe it, in the sense of I can very much hear the voices, and then I can very much hear the actual motorcycle as two separate entities, which is kind of a nice thing. All right, so right now I can kind of barely hear this river. I can hear my footsteps. So one thing that I'm realizing just while I'm sitting here, the microphone, it's pretty flexible. You can move it out of the way if you really want to, which is nice. When I have it in the correct position on my face, it's not in my field of vision, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So walking through here, I can hear a whole bunch of those little creepy dudes. But things are interesting. So voices sound really good. It's one of those, the environment feels clinical in the sense of sounds are pretty balanced from what I'm noticing, and I can tell clear distinctions between them, but it's one of those that directional audio is good because I can hear them to the left and behind me and her in front of me. And it's nice because I can switch back and forth to like what I want to hear, which is a good thing. But at the same time, the environment doesn't sound as realistic as sometimes when more of that stuff kind of blends together. So right here, what's nice, I can hear some good echo of her voice, which is realistic. I can hear a pigeon behind me. I now can hear, I don't know what it is. I can hear these guys. But for the most part, things are really quiet. All right, so let's test out some YouTube to see what that sounds like for just normal multimedia. All right, so someone's intro right there has a strong bass beat. And the bass and the treble sounded really solid there. So right here on this scene, we've got the person on the left talking, we have the person on the right talking, we have Summit talking, and we have radio chatter, and I'm able to pretty much differentiate between all of that. So it's got good separation, especially when a lot of things are going on. So I like that, and the voices sound really good. I can hear a lot of the individual. I can hear the cop coming up behind, the glass breaking, the people talking. So right now, I'm extremely impressed in the sound quality. Let's watch some It's Timmy. Dude's nuts at apex. Sound, once again, is accurate image-wise. Gun sounds, I mean, it sounds really good. All the sounds, once again, are very well separated. Those shots sound like they're semi-far away. Sounded like they were further away than they actually were there, but, I mean, I'm able to pick up on all the little tiny sounds of all of this. I mean, like the Horizon Ultimate right there sounded really cool. I hear ever so slight kind of bloat, but you can tell that this definitely has more of a treble focused. I would still say that it's more balanced, but it's semi more treble focused with a little bit more bass. And where the bass is present and you can hear it and it adds to it, but it doesn't overbear like a lot of other Razer headsets have in the past. And again, for gaming, you definitely want more of a treble focus. So I'm liking this. All right, listen to a little bit of pentatonics, Mary, did you know? All right, so listening to this, highs so far sound really good, but it's one of those that I can definitely hear more of a bloat in the lower end, but sounds are accurate. All right. So yeah.
Alright, so I wasn't actually going to do a microphone component on this video, but I got to the end of all my editing and was like, you know what, might as well make it a nice little well-rounded video and add this section in. When I first uploaded this part with the microphone, it was one of those, the treble was so hardcore, mostly because it was almost like peaking. So what you want to do to make sure that you're getting the best sound out of this microphone that you possibly can is, one, don't talk super loud. Two, make sure that you have the gain as low almost as possible, or else you're going to come across as a little bit too bright and a little bit too trebly. And I thought that that made the entire microphone sound like a complete and utter dog doo-doo. Just based off of what I'm hearing in my head right now, I'm not super impressed. Granted, I'm gonna have to listen back to it, and you'll see what I think about it in like text form, because I'm not gonna do some more over like talking. I'm done talking. All right, yeah. I am using the Go XLR for this guy, which does tend to do just sometimes a little bit of color to the microphone to make it sound a little bit better. I am on complete default settings. My gate is turned off, my equalizer is set to default, and the compressor is completely off, so it should be pretty much sounding exactly how you would hear it if you were doing something. I want to know what you, yes, you specifically, think of this microphone. Out of 10, what would you rate it? I would rate it whatever I put on the screen right now with my thoughts, because I don't know what this actually sounds like until I hear it in post, and I'm not going to do another voiceover for that, so you can read it.
All right, so my first impressions / review of these guys are, they are very, very comfortable. I like the overall look of them. I like the controls are simple, basic. It'll work on anything that has a 3.5 millimeter cord. This thing doesn't do any microphonics. I don't also hear anything when I'm kind of manipulating the headphone. There's a little bit on the volume, but very, very slightly, and once you set that, you should be good. If you twist it away from you, it increases the volume. If you twist it backwards, it decreases the volume, or at least on the PS5, that was the case. It's one of those that I think it's very comfortable with the memory foam thing, and then the top and the clamping force, I would say, is kind of mild / moderate, where it's not going to go anywhere. I like that it kind of has some passive noise isolation, and so far my first impressions on the overall sound is excellent. These sound really, really good. There is some mild bloat, but once again, for 60 bucks, the sound quality on these guys from my first impressions are absolutely fantastic, and definitely I think are better than the G335 in the overall single player gaming. But I don't know about multiplayer gaming, so you'll have to wait for the review for that one. But definitely very satisfied with the sound on these. They're Triforce drivers that these guys are using. There might be something special there, which is why a lot of people rate these guys really high. Look forward to putting it through more of its paces. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see the full in-depth review of these guys. Otherwise, leave a like if you like this video, leave a dislike if you didn't like this video, and of course hit that subscribe button if you want to see more like this or the review. And make sure to hit up my social medias that I never use so I can feel important. I will see you at Jumpy Face on the next one. God bless and peace out.